17 members and associates of the Hells Angels are facing criminal charges in a violent attack.
Federal agents allege the outlaws sold drugs, traded firearms, and engaged in insurance fraud and even tampered with government witnesses.
We have learned there is cell phone video as well as surveillance video of evidence in this attack.
The U.S. attorney characterized today's raids as historic, the largest federal bust on organized criminal gang activity.
Retaliation is common for crimes involving biker gangs. However, it could happen anywhere because of how interconnected gangs have become nationwide.
The 3-year investigation resulted in 42 federal indictments on a variety of charges, including racketeering, money laundering, drugs, gambling, insurance fraud, and extortion.
There's a bunch of bikers up here, and they're shooting guns and stuff. I need the police now.
But on foot going towards 2nd Street. Okay, receive.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we got a lot to talk about. There's a whole lot going on, and we're going to get into it. Before we get started, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. So, share this video. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We got a lot of support lately, and I appreciate every single person that takes the time to watch this show. There's a lot of interviews dropping. I'm going to start changing up some things on how I drop interviews. So I'm going to be going live 3 times a week. I'm going to change the lives till night. I might do some during the day too, but I'm going to upload 3 videos a week. I'm going to kind of slow it down a little bit. I think I'm oversaturating things with how many videos I'm really putting out. I think sometimes 2 a day is a little much, don't you think? So we're going to slow down on the content, but I'm going to bring you quality content. Hey, Lindsay, how are you? Steve, what's going on? Thanks for joining me today. LB Green, what's going on? Craft Butcher, hello. So today we're going to start this off with the Colombo family, the Colombo crime family. What does the Colombo crime family have to do with? What are they in the news for now? Colombo crime family, my boss's son and grandson arrested in NYC ghost gun raids. The son and grandson of a late Colombo crime family mob boss have been busted on federal weapons charges after a huge stash of ghost guns were found in their Staten Island home. Let me show you that cache of weapons. Insane. So it looks like they were printing their own weapons, and you can see the printers in the background. So it says Joseph Orapallo, 57, and his son Frank, 22, were nabbed early Wednesday by the NYPD Financial Crimes Task Force, carried out a raid on their home in Dorp. Officials say the father and son duo are kin to the late Joseph Tomasello, a notorious Colombo crime family capo who was thrown behind bars back in 1998 on a slew of racketeering and murder charges after years on the run. So during the raid on the home, cops uncovered a huge stash of weapons, including rifles, shotguns, and ghost guns, which are firearms with no serial numbers that can be put together from a kit. The raid also found ammunition and 3D printed firearm making equipment. The pair are now facing federal weapons charges, so they are screwed. It wasn't apparently clear that the Orapallos, are embodied in organized crime. Still, it is apparent bid to distance himself from his mob boss father. Joseph started using his mother's maiden name many years ago. His dad was collared in the late 90s after a hideout in the Catskills. After nearly a decade on the run, Joseph Orapallo had tipped authorities off to his father's whereabouts on the eve of his wedding. Damn, so this dude ratted out his own dad? That is insane. So he tipped off, the son tipped off where his father was hiding. It says Tomasello was subsequently jailed on charges of racketeering and complicity to 5 murders in the Big Apple between 1991 and 1992. He died in 2016. So I wonder what's going to happen with his rat son. Now he's going to prison. I mean, you guys know what it is. The cooperators don't get dealt with like they used to back in the day. It's just not the same. It's just not the same. People look up to people like Sammy Gravano. I mean, look at Joey Diaz. Joey Diaz did a video. I know Joey Diaz is on with Joey Merlino and all that, but Coco Joey Diaz did a video how he looks up to Sammy Gravano. It's insane. I don't get it. I mean, what these people see in these cooperators is beyond me. I don't fucking know. Bunch of rat trash, if you ask me. All of them. All of them. Goes for Areola, Gravano, all of them. Hey, Big Boy Blue, what's going on? Thanks for joining me today. So in other news, we're going to talk, and we talked about this guy before. Now we're going to get to the 1%er side of things. This guy's in the news once again. You guys don't know who he is. He is with the Ugly Men Bikers, the Cossacks. Ex-biker gang leader gets probation for giving orders that led to an East Texas motorcyclist's death. So he got probation for giving the order to kill somebody. Like, make this make sense. Chad Crowell pleaded guilty to directing activities of a street gang in connection with the 2020 shooting death of Brandon Edwards. I don't get it. This is in Tyler, Texas. A former outlaw motorcycle gang leader was sentenced to 6 years. Hold on. 6 years of probation Thursday for his involvement in giving orders that killed an East Texas motorcyclist. Chad Michael Crowell pleaded guilty to directing activities of the street gang in connection with the 2020 death of Brandon Edwards, the rival motorcycle gang member. He was then given a 6-year sentence, deferred adjudication, probation, along with community service hours. He was ordered not to have any contact with people associated with gang that he was involved with. Well, I honestly don't think they're going to have any contact with him. He's a cooperator too. In light of Edwards losing his life, the 114th District Court Judge, Austin Reeve Jackson, thought some jail time was appropriate. Jackson then ordered Crowell to serve 10 days in jail before beginning his probation. 10 days. He got 10 days in prison for directing someone to kill someone else. And then he cooperated against a bunch of people and he gets out. He pulled this Sammy Gravano and they bought it. You believe that shit? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. So he served 10 days in jail. Says Edwards was chased down and shot to death in 2020 in the Chapel Hill area, according to arrest documents. Edward was a member of the 1% Cossacks, a rival to the Ugly Men Cossacks, the gang that Crowell previously served as National Sergeant of Arms. He became a cooperator, though. I got a picture of the guy that he had killed. 10 days in prison. I don't get it. Like, so that's what they're doing now? Like, you can direct someone to get killed, tell on the other people, and you get 10 days in jail? 6 years probation? Make this make sense to me. Makes absolutely no sense. Become a cooperator and they give you the world, I guess. Documents said the Ugly Men Cossack members were given a smash on sight order to harm 1% Cossacks. And the order came from national leaders such as Crowell, Kevin Dale Higgins, former national president for the Ugly Men Cossacks. Now, Crowell cooperated against Kevin Higgins. Last month, Higgins was sentenced to life in prison after he was convicted of directing activities of a street gang following a jury trial. Caldwell took the stand in Higgins' trial, saying that violence was encouraged in the gang and the smash on sight order came from Higgins initially. Well, I don't care. They should not have gave this guy a deal. They shouldn't have let him cooperate. They should have gave him as much time as the other guy. Instead, they give him 10 days in jail and 6 years probation. Oh, wait, they give him community service too, right? It's disgusting what they do for the people that cooperate. It really is. Just because he took the stand. So what? And they said he can't be around people that are in the club. I'm sure they don't want to be around him. He eats cheese. So last month, Higgins was sentenced to life in prison for directing activities of the street gang following a jury trial. He took the stand. 3 men who chased Edwards down and shot him were all convicted and sentenced to engaging in organized criminal activity. Joshua Tibbetts was sentenced to 45 years in prison. Jose Venezuela and Jeffrey Griffin received 22-year sentences following their guilty pleas. So why is this guy only given 10 days in jail? It makes absolutely no sense. No sense at all. It's crazy. It's just like in the mafia. They tell on people, they just give them whatever. It's crazy. Insane. But I don't know if they gave this dude witness protection program or what, but he told on his whole crew. Basically, he basically dismantled the Ugly Men from the inside. So in other news, if you guys don't know, this is insane. So laws were passed that you guys might not be aware of. If you are a part of a motorcycle club in Texas or California, you cannot own a weapon. New laws are being passed that you cannot own a carry concealed permit. You cannot own a weapon if you are a part of a 1% motorcycle club. If they deem the club that you are a part of as an organized gang, which a lot of them are getting called that. You guys know what's going on with the borders and them labeling the cartel terrorist groups. The association to motorcycle clubs is just around the corner. So there's already been things that have happened where people have gotten in trouble. I heard of a case where the cops came to a guy's door. He opened the door with a handgun and he went to jail. He never been in trouble a day in his life. And he went to jail because he's a part of one of these clubs. And the government labels it a criminal enterprise. So it's just crazy. They're stripping away the rights of people left and right. It's just insane. Ooh, I got some really good pictures too of the interview I did with the guy who went undercover with the Hells Angels and the Mafia up in Canada. That one's going to be dropping this weekend, I believe. And then I have an interview with one of the family member, one of the founding members of the Hells Angels. So you want to check that out. Make sure you go subscribe to Patreon too. I have the dash cam footage of Michael Jordan's son being arrested. And it's pretty funny. He drives onto the railroad tracks. He's with some girl. He's all hopped up on some drugs. Insane. You interview someone from the Disciples Christians MC yet? No. If you guys know anyone that you want to see on the show, just get me in touch with them. You can email me at BillStaxx2021 and we'll work it out. I have a lot of different interviews that are going to be dropping. I interviewed a guy from Chicago that was a part of a club. I'm going to bring you a whole bunch of different motorcycle club people. Interviewed the national president for the Thunder Guard MC. That interview is going to be dropping soon. Shout out to John. Shout out to Chuck. We got a lot of great interviews on the way. And remember, I'm going to be changing things up. You're going to get quality instead of quantity. I'm going to really take my time with these videos. And you guys will see things are going to start changing. But it's going to be for the better. I think you guys will like it. But anyway, make sure you guys check out this book, Prison Politics 101. I'm a part of this book. I put in my little 2 cents into it. And you can pick it up on Amazon. Shout out to Larry Lamine. There's a lot of great things right around the corner. I'm going to be doing some live soon with a whole bunch of different guests. Shout out to Breeze. Shout out to Josh. Go check out the interview I did with Josh. That was recent. And tonight's interview is Paul Karafotis. He was in a whole bunch of different movies. He did a movie with James Gandolfini. He was in that movie Journey to the Center of the Earth. He was in a whole bunch of movies. And that one's tonight at 10 o'clock. And then this weekend, I'm going to be dropping a whole bunch of content. So I think next week is when I'm going to start dialing back the content and bringing you guys some official. Not that it's not official, but I'm going to step my game up. You'll see. But if you have anyone that you would recommend for me to interview, just let me know. Get me in touch with them or have them email me. Hey, Maureen, how are you? Big boy, how have you been? Things are great here. It's snowing out, matter of fact, right now. It's insane outside. There's a whole bunch of things going on. You guys see what's going on with this, what is it? Elon Musk checking where all the money goes. These Democrats are absolutely losing their minds. Losing their minds. If you guys haven't seen the videos, they're like calling for people, take to the streets. This is our time and all that. Like, shut up. You people are going to end up in prison is what's going to happen with you. The USAID, they are going to end up in prison because they're embezzling money left and right. How do you pay for a subscription that costs $7,000, but they charge them $507,000? How does that work? You know what it's called? It's called money laundering. It's called embezzlement. Yeah, it's stealing. So I think people are going to start being let out in handcuffs, and that's why they're freaking out, because they know they're caught with their hand in the cookie jar. And they're like, oh, Elon Musk doesn't have any authority. He was hired by Donald Trump. So there's nothing you can do about it. So in other news, former Hells Angels Clubhouse is listed for sale up in Vancouver, British Columbia. January 21st, Public Safety Ministry, Gary Begg says province has listed the former clubhouse for the Vancouver Hells Angels Motorcycle Club for sale. The former clubhouse, located in East Georgia Street, was assessed at $1.58 million on July 1st, 2024, which is about $66,000 from when the property was first forfeited to the province. Damn, so they took the club from them. The police can do whatever they want. You know, the cops have their own little clubs, right? They're the biggest gang out there, the police. In other news, police raid Hells Angels Clubhouse in Quebec. Hells Angels Clubhouse was targeted of a major police operation. Around 90 police officers were mobilized on that Friday evening for a raid targeting violent crimes and drug trafficking. The searches are related to various events in recent weeks and months, such as a shooting on Rank Street. Police found 16 people at the scene, including an armed 67-year-old man who was arrested. He was held in custody pending his scheduled appearance at a courthouse. Police searched 3 vehicles and entered the property, consisting mainly of 2 buildings. They allegedly seized a rifle, firearm ammunition, methamphetamine tablets, clothing, jewelry with HAMC branding, along with Hells Angels patches and jackets. So how are the police able to seize all this stuff when they do a raid? How are they able to seize members' cuts? That's just doesn't even sound right. I mean, do they ever get the cuts back? It says those apprehended at the scene were all men between the ages of 27 and 71. They were members in good standing. As full patch Hells Angels, as well as Prospect. Members of the Hells Angels Support Club, a spokesman, stressed that the Maurice region is not immune from violence or drug trafficking. The goal of this investigation is to put an end to the activities of people who engage in acts of violence. Searches are believed to be linked to several violent episodes during which gunshots and bangs were heard on Ranks St. Pierre in December of 2023, September of 2024, and the beginning of 2025. The operation involved officers from the Regional Task Force, International Organized Crime Enforcement Team, and the Organized Crime Intervention Team, intelligence officers, crime scene technicians, firearm specialists, dog handlers, and emergency response team, or SRT. So they take this shit pretty serious if they're going to search clubs. Do they get their cuts back, though? If they go and raid a club, do they give them their cuts back? Or do they just keep them forever? I mean, how does that work? Hey, what's going on? Shout out to Providence. Super Big Exotics, what's going on? Thank you for joining me today. So we're going to be doing some lives. I'm going to be bringing, me and Breeze are going to do a live soon. Shout out to Popcorn. Shout out to Breeze. Shout out to Josh. Go check out the interview I did with Josh. Part 3 dropped last night. People love that interview. He's a very humble person. But I have so many interviews. So I have Paul Manning, former undercover with the Hells Angels and the Mafia up in Canada. I have an interview with Chris Life Willard. Shout out to him. He was sentenced to a whole bunch of time in prison. Tells me his story. I got an interview with Seth Ferrante. That's going to be dropping. I got an interview with the national president of the Thunder Guards MC. And I got another interview with a former club member from the Chicago area. And then I have an interview with a family member from one of the creators of the Hells Angels. So you don't want to miss any of this content. If you want to see exclusive content before it goes out anywhere, go check out Patreon. There's a link in the description of this video, or join the membership and you'll get to see them first before they're all broke up. You'll be able to see the interviews in their entirety, and it doesn't cost a lot. It's a couple of dollars. But I appreciate everyone that takes the time to watch this show. Don't forget, Paul Karafotis tonight, 10 o'clock. Shout out to Lou Silver and the rest of the gang. I appreciate all you guys for checking out my show. If you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like this show, too fucking bad. Start your own podcast. And remember, don't be a bitch.
And all new at 5, a major organized crime bust. 23 people under arrest now accused of stealing guns and cash.
Today, police revealed 4 organized crime groups are wreaking havoc.
From aggravated robbery to kidnapping, burglary, and more. Let's take a look at this. New pictures from court documents in this case. These are a few of the people who have been charged. And investigators say the money, tens of thousands of dollars, is all stolen.